lashed out. Overnight, a Melbourne ICU doctor was stung after a marathon shift. It sparked an angry backlash.
The threat of a parking fine is a very real thing.
I don't think that someone who's in there literally saving lives at considerable risk to themselves should be the subject of a parking ticket.
Crazy. It's not fair. It shouldn't happen. You know, everybody's trying to make ends meet, so, you know, it shouldn't happen. Not at all.
Frontline healthcare workers slapped with parking fines. Doctors and nurses helping save lives during Melbourne's second wave, returning to their cars after marathon shifts to find these.
It's pretty bad. I've been slugged a few times.
I think it's ridiculous. If you're going to save lives and risk your life, you shouldn't get a parking fine when you walk out the door in the middle of the night. Stupid.
It started with a $99 parking fine and a single tweet from an intensive care doctor. After working 56 hours in just 4 days, she left work here late last night and found one of these on her car. In her disgust, she called out the council online.
It's just terrible. I just don't understand. We shouldn't receive fines.
The support's been huge, thousands backing Dr. Katerina online.
This is paid now. Keep doing what you do and don't let this eat your time or energy.
Thank you for all your incredible work. Our hospital staff are absolute legends and I'm so sorry you received this slap in the face.
Thank you, Katerina, for the indispensable work you and all health workers do day in, day out.
If it doesn't get overturned, I would like to pay for it for you as a thank you. You don't deserve this.
I always thought it was bad beforehand because there's not even enough staff parking, but even now it's worse because everyone has to step up, do extra hours, you know, we're tired from everything we have to wear.
Cassie's a nurse at the Royal Melbourne Hospital. She says she's copped multiple parking fines.
You know, normally I'd take public transport so I wouldn't have to pay, but now I have to pay, and it's actually a big chunk out of your savings every week. We want to minimise movement in and out of the building just for infection control purposes. So if we had to come and move our cars or continue to add money to meters, that's quite problematic.
Paige Wilson's a nurse at St Vincent's Hospital. She's started a petition to make parking free for all healthcare workers in Victoria. Now they can't take public transport during the pandemic.
We don't want to contract the virus while we're on public transport and bring it to our patients. And we also don't want to contract the virus at work and then bring it to the community on public transport. So you can't really win either way.
Her petition has already racked up almost 2,500 signatures online.
You've got nurses working in ICU and emergency and neonatal intensive care, all sorts of amazing things happening. This is the very least that can be done for us.
Dr. Katerina isn't the only one to receive a fine. Dr. Michelle Lee said the permits at her hospital was snapped up within 2 hours. An ICU nurse copped a fine because a PPE shortage prevented her from leaving the ward to move her car, while another nurse bike rides an hour to and from work because he can't leave to top up the meter mid-shift. The City of Melbourne has already given almost 10,000 parking permits to health workers, and after today will be giving thousands more.
This Friday we'll be issuing an additional 5,000 permits, parking permits, to the hospitals to distribute to their frontline workers.
The power of the people forcing Melbourne Lord Mayor Sally Capp to back down on the individual parking fine.
We've waived that fine, we understand the stress, and we appreciate and acknowledge the amazing service that she's been providing through her work.
But as to whether parking inspectors are essential, the Lord Mayor stands by the fact they are.
Our parking inspectors are playing a role in making sure that we're reasonable, that we do see a turnover of those parking spaces.
You can't build a perfect system when it comes to these rules, but I'm always happy, and we have, I think, demonstrated a genuine willingness to make changes where that makes sense.
I don't think you can expect the council to be too lenient when there's a lot of competition for these parking spots.
Sean Hardy specialises in traffic law.
It seems clear that the offence has been committed and the reason is, well, sympathetic, but it's not a defence in law.
Defence or not, most say it's senseless to have been handed out in the first place, like 3AW broadcaster Neil Mitchell.
I'd love to give them free parking every day of the week forever. I don't know if that's possible, but at least stage 4 and stage 3.
Yeah, it's going to uplift us and, you know, it'll make us feel safe and happy to go to work.
Up next, Ninja